It started with small things. At first, I didn't even notice, and she'd come home a little later than usual, said work was keeping her busy. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? Everyone gets stressed sometimes. I told her to take it easy, even made her tea one night while she scrolled through her phone, barely looking up. That's when I started noticing it. The phone. It never left her hand. Even when we were eating, she kept checking it, tapping out replies with this little smile on her face. I asked who she was talking to once. She said it was just a group chat. I didn't push, I trusted her. Stupid, right? She stopped kissing me goodbye in the mornings. She used to every single day, even if we were mad at each other. It was our little thing. But one day she just grabbed her bag and left. I thought maybe she was late. The next day, same thing. No kiss, no smile, not even a see you later. Just gone. We used to laugh together all the time. Dumb jokes, inside stuff only we understood. I'd say something, expecting her to laugh like always, and she'd barely react. Just nodded or looked past me. It felt like I was talking to a stranger. She wasn't mean. That's the weird part. She wasn't angry or cold, just distant, like her body was here, but her mind was somewhere else, with someone else. I asked if everything was okay. She said, yeah, just tired. That was her answer for everything. One night I made dinner, her favorite, creamy pasta with garlic bread. She didn't even touch it, said she wasn't hungry and went straight to bed. No thank you, no smile, nothing. I sat there alone at the table, just staring at the empty chair across from me. I started thinking maybe I was overreacting, maybe I was being insecure, but my gut kept screaming that something was wrong. She didn't ask how my day was, didn't notice when I shaved, didn't care when I said I was feeling off. She just stopped being present. Then came that night. She stood in the hallway, arms crossed, not even trying to hide whatever was on her mind. I asked her if she was okay. She didn't answer right away, just stared at me like she was trying to decide if she should say it. I knew even before she opened her mouth that something was coming, and when she finally did speak, it hit me like a punch to the chest. We need to talk. That's all she said, and in that moment, everything I feared became real. I sat on the edge of the couch, just watching her. She wasn't nervous, she wasn't sad. She looked calm, like she had practiced this in front of a mirror 100 times. Her arms were crossed, her voice steady. I need to tell you something, she said. I just nodded. My heart was pounding, but I didn't say a word. I could feel something coming, something bad. She took a breath. I've been seeing someone else. That's when everything inside me just stopped. I didn't speak. I didn't blink. My chest felt hollow, like someone had scooped out my heart with their bare hands. I stared at her, hoping I misheard. I didn't. It's someone from work, she said. It's not serious. It just happened. We got close. He understands me. She said it like that made it okay. Like her cheating would hurt less because the guy understood her. She kept talking, explaining herself like it mattered. You've been so busy, always working, always tired. I felt alone, and he was there. We talked a lot, and it turned into something more. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. After everything I had done for us, she found someone else and thought telling me like this would fix it, like ripping off a band-aid. I didn't mean to hurt you, she said, her voice soft now. I just had to be honest. I still said nothing. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just stared at her, feeling like I was watching a stranger. This wasn't the woman I loved. This wasn't the woman I gave everything to. She stood up and started pacing. I'm not saying I don't care about you. I do. But I don't feel the same anymore, and pretending isn't fair to either of us. My throat was dry. I wanted to yell, to ask her why, to demand answers. But all I could do was sit there, numb. I think it's best if I leave for a while, she said, avoiding eye contact now. Just to give us space, I'll stay with my sister. She walked to the bedroom and started grabbing clothes, stuffing them into a duffel bag. I watched her from the hallway, still silent. She didn't cry, she didn't look back at me. When she zipped up the bag and walked toward the door, she stopped for a second. I'm sorry, she whispered. I didn't respond, I just let her walk out. The door clicked shut behind her. I stood in the quiet, in the same room we used to laugh in, eat in, live in, and now it felt empty, like she had taken the air with her. I sat back down, staring at the floor, trying to understand what had just happened. But all I could think was, she's gone. Just like that. I couldn't sleep that night. I lay on the couch, staring at the ceiling, thinking about everything I had done for her over the years. Every little thing. Every sacrifice. I remembered the extra shifts I picked up, just so I could afford that necklace she wanted for her birthday. I remembered coming home dead tired, still cooking dinner, because she said she didn't feel like it. I never complained. I thought that's what love was, showing up even when it's hard. I thought about the time she lost her job. She was broken, crying every day, doubting herself. I held her through all of it. I reminded her she was smart, capable, worth more than any job title. I paid all the bills, took care of everything, and told her to take her time getting back on her feet. I never threw it in her face. Not once. I remembered the small surprises, flowers on random Tuesdays, movie nights after long weeks, the way I'd clean the whole house when she was out just to make her smile. She always did smile. At least back then she did. I didn't need much from her. I never asked for money, gifts, or even help with chores. I just wanted loyalty, respect, someone who would love me back the way I loved her. My mom used to say, she's the one. I can see it. She's your forever. She called her her future daughter. My dad gave me a proud nod after he met her the first time. My sister said we looked perfect together. And all that, she threw it away. For what? A guy from the office? Some dude who probably flirted with every woman at work and knew exactly what to say? She told me it wasn't serious, but she left anyway. How do you leave something real for something that's not even serious? That's what kept repeating in my head, over and over again. I didn't eat, I didn't even move. Her scent was still on the pillow, and that alone was enough to punch me in the gut. I couldn't go to our bedroom. It felt wrong, like it didn't belong to me anymore. So I slept on the couch, alone, cold, still trying to convince myself this was a nightmare. But it wasn't. She was gone just like that. She didn't even say goodbye, no hug, no last look, nothing. Just an I'm sorry, and the sound of the door closing, and I was left with memories. All the effort I put in, all the love I gave, and she gave it to someone else. Mike called me the next morning. Bro, I heard. I'm sorry, man, he said, but listen, she's not worth your tears. I didn't know what to say. My chest still felt heavy. My throat felt dry. I just muttered, yeah. You need to block her, he said. Delete everything. Don't look at her photos. Don't read old messages. She made her choice. Don't let her break you down more than she already has. I nodded even though he couldn't see me. Everyone I talked to said the same thing. Burn her stuff. Unfollow her. Move on. They all said it like it was easy. Like flipping a switch. But they didn't understand. I didn't feel angry. I felt broken, empty, number I couldn't eat. Every time I tried, my stomach turned. I couldn't sleep either. I'd close my eyes and see her face. I'd hear her laugh in my head, the way it used to be when we were happy. Everything reminded me of her. The couch, the shampoo in the bathroom, even my playlist. Every damn song made me feel like I was drowning. I wanted to be angry. I really did. But I wasn't there yet. That night I opened my phone. I don't know why. Maybe part of me hoped she missed me. Maybe I thought she'd posted something sad, something that would show she still cared, even a little. I shouldn't have looked. She posted a picture, her and him, smiling, his arm around her shoulders, her head tilted toward him, like they'd been together forever, like I never even existed. The caption said, New Beginnings, star. And that was it. That was the moment. Something inside me snapped, just broke. I stared at that photo for a long time. My hands were shaking, my chest burned, not with sadness this time, with rage. She didn't look guilty, she didn't look hurt, she looked happy. After everything we'd shared, after everything I did for her, and that's when it hit me. She left me for him, lied to me, looked me in the eye and told me it wasn't serious, and now she was showing him off like some prize? I clenched my jaw, my fingers tightened around my phone, and for the first time since she left, I didn't feel weak. I felt awake, focused. I wasn't going to cry anymore. I knew what I had to do. I found his name through one of her old texts. She didn't hide it well, just Jake. That's all I needed. I searched his name, found a few profiles, then landed on his Instagram. Public, no shame. There he was. Same guy from the photo, smiling like he owned the world. His page was full of gym selfies, mirror shots, captions like grind mode and work hard, play harder. A real cliche. But then I saw something that caught my eye. A picture of him with another girl. She had her arms around his waist, smiling wide. The caption said, "Can't wait to spend forever with you." It was posted just a week before he showed up in my ex's photo. I checked again. Dates lined up. That wasn't my ex in the photo. This other girl? Her name was Emily. I clicked on her profile, and that's when the pieces started coming together. They'd been together for over a year. Trips, birthdays, dinner nights, all documented, all recent. So while my ex was telling me about her connection with this guy, he was out there telling another girl he loved her. I stared at my phone for a long time, then I made a decision. I sent Emily a message. "Hey, you don't know me, but I think we need to talk. It's about Jake." It took her a couple hours to reply. "Who are you?" I kept it short. "My ex just posted a photo with him. She left me for him. I didn't know about you until I found your profile." She didn't answer right away. Then one word, "Prove it." So I sent the screenshots, messages, her Instagram post with him, the comments, the dates. After 5 minutes, she replied, "I can't believe this." We ended up talking for an hour. She told me how Jake was sweet at first, how he got distant over the last few months, late replies, cancelled plans, always said work was crazy. She thought maybe he was tired, maybe he was just stressed, sounded familiar. I asked her for dates, times they were together. She asked me the same. The overlap was clear. He had been cheating on both of us. I could feel the anger building in her messages. He lied to me. "I'm going to kill him." I told her, "Let's not do anything crazy. Let's just make sure they both know we're not stupid." She agreed. And just like that, we had a plan. Two strangers, betrayed by the same guy. Now we were working together, not to hurt them, just to tell the truth. And maybe, just maybe, make them feel a little of the pain they gave us. Alicia was furious. The more we talked, the angrier she got. She kept saying, "He made me feel like I was crazy, like I was the one ruining things." I understood her completely. That's exactly how I felt when my ex started pulling away. Like I wasn't enough. We decided to meet the next day, not to cry about it. We were done crying. We wanted to do something about it. We met at a quiet coffee shop. She brought printouts of their texts. I brought screenshots of my ex's posts with him. We compared timelines again. It was even worse than we thought. He had been with both of them during the same weekends. Told each of us he was working late while he was actually with the other. Alicia looked at me and said, "He's going to regret this." I nodded. Her too. We didn't want to fight or send angry messages. That wouldn't fix anything. What we wanted was simple. The truth, loud and clear. We wrote out a post together. It was simple, just the facts. The dates, the overlap, photos, screenshots, no insults, no yelling, just cold, hard proof. We tagged them both. Then we posted it. Within 15 minutes, Alicia's phone started lighting up. Messages from friends, comments, DMS people were asking if it was real, if she was okay. An hour later, my ex texted me. "What the hell is this?" I didn't reply. 10 minutes after that, she called. I let it ring. Alicia looked at me and smirked. "He's trying to call me too." We watched their pages. My ex's post with him, deleted. His account, switched to private. People had already taken screenshots though. Too late. By that evening, someone who worked with them messaged Alicia. HR found out. They're investigating. I didn't expect that, but I won't lie. I smiled. Next morning, Alicia texted me, "He got fired?" I stared at that message for a long time. Then she sent another. "She's not coming in either. Probably hiding." I should have felt guilty. I should have wondered if we went too far. But I didn't. Not even a little. They made their choices. They lied. They snuck around. They humiliated us. And now they knew how that felt. Alicia messaged me again later. "Thank you for helping me do this. I finally feel like I can breathe again." I replied, "Same." We didn't talk much after that. But in that short time, we gave each other something important. Closure. And a little bit of revenge. 2 days after the post went viral, she showed up at my door. Her eyes were red, mascara running, hair messy like she hadn't slept. She looked nothing like the girl who walked out on me a few nights ago. "I know I shouldn't be here," she said quietly, voice shaking. "But, please, can we talk?" I didn't say anything at first, just looked at her. She wiped her face with her sleeve. "He lied to me about everything. Said he was single, Said he just needed time to leave his girlfriend. I thought he was different. I stepped aside and let her in. She walked slowly, like she wasn't sure she was welcome. She sat on the edge of the couch, the same spot where she told me she was seeing someone else. I'm sorry, she said, not looking at me. I know that doesn't fix anything, but I needed to say it. I sat across from her, arms crossed. Why are you really here? She looked up, startled. Because I made a mistake. I nodded slowly. Yeah, you did. I thought he cared, she whispered. I really believed he did. He didn't, I said flatly. And you believed him more than you believed me. She lowered her head. I didn't mean to hurt you. But you did. Tears welled up in her eyes again. I was lonely. I felt like we were drifting apart. I didn't know how to fix it, and he was there saying all the right things. You could have talked to me, I said. But you chose to talk to him. I know. You cheated. Emotionally, maybe more. You lied. You left. And now that it's all fallen apart, you come back? She didn't answer, just kept crying softly. I'm not the backup plan, I said. I'm not the guy you run to because the one you picked turned out to be trash. I don't expect you to forgive me, she said. I needed to tell you I'm sorry, that you didn't deserve any of this. I stood up, heart pounding. I loved you, I said. Fully, honestly, I gave you everything I had, and you threw it away for someone who didn't even respect you. She covered her face with her hands. I hate myself for what I did. I'm not here to make you feel better about it, I said. You came for closure? Fine, you have it. She looked up, eyes desperate. So that's it? That's it, I said. You made your choice, now live with it. She stood slowly, walked toward the door, then turned back. I still love you. I didn't respond. I just watched her leave. This time I didn't feel broken. I felt done. I took a deep breath and looked her in the eyes. She stood there waiting for me to say something, anything. I'd kept quiet for too long, and now it was time. She heard everything. You broke me, I said, not just when you left, but every moment leading up to it. The cold looks, the fake smiles, the lies. You didn't just walk out. You destroyed the version of me that trusted you. She opened her mouth to speak, but I raised my hand. Don't, I said. Let me finish. She stayed quiet, her lip trembling. You humiliated me. You told me I wasn't enough, maybe not in words, but in actions. You laughed with him while I cried alone. You made me feel small, invisible. I begged for your attention and didn't even realize it. I wasn't trying to hurt you, she whispered. But you did, I said sharply, and now you're sorry? Sorry after everything's fallen apart? Sorry now that he's gone and I'm still standing? I didn't expect things to happen this way, she said. That's the problem, I said. You didn't think. You acted. You let someone else into the space that was meant for us. And now you think sorry makes it better? She shook her head. I know it's not enough. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I just needed you to hear me. I did, I said. And you know what? It's not enough. Not anymore. Not after the silence, not after the lies, not after seeing you with him while I was still picking up the pieces. I miss you, she said, her voice breaking. I miss us. There is no us, I said quietly. You made your choice. Now live with it. She stepped forward like she wanted to hug me, but I took a step back. Her arms dropped. The look on her face changed. From regret to realization. That's it then? She asked. We're really over? I nodded. We've been over since the day you chose him. She stared at me for a few seconds, tears rolling down her cheeks. Then she turned and walked slowly to the door. Her hand hovered on the handle like she was hoping I'd stop her. I didn't. She opened the door, stepped outside, and closed it behind her. I stood there in silence, feeling something shift inside me. Not sadness, not anger, peace. That was the moment I knew I was done. The next morning, I got up early. No reason, I just didn't want to lie in bed anymore. The house felt quiet, but for the first time, it wasn't the kind of quiet that hurt. It was the kind that felt clean, like I could breathe again. I made coffee, played music, opened the windows. I sat down with a notebook and started writing things I wanted to do. Not things we planned, not couple stuff, just things I wanted for myself. First thing on the list was getting back to the gym. I hadn't worked out in months, maybe even longer. I used to love it. It helped me think, helped me breathe. So I went back. First day, I could barely lift anything. My arms shook. I was out of breath in minutes, but it felt good. I pushed through. Second thing, I picked up my old guitar from the closet. It had dust all over it. I used to play every weekend just for fun. I tuned it up, sat on the edge of the bed, and strummed until my fingers hurt. I remembered old songs. I remembered how it felt to be me. Next, I booked a trip. Somewhere quiet, somewhere far. I always talked about going, but never did because there was always some reason to wait. Money, time, work. Now I had no excuses. I picked the dates, booked the flight, and that was that. Just me and the road. Alicia and I kept in touch. She'd check in once in a while, and I'd do the same. No flirting, no mess. Just two people who went through something heavy and helped each other stand again. She told me she was doing better too, started painting again, joined a hiking group, even adopted a rescue dog. We joked sometimes, said maybe all of this happened just so we'd get our lives back. We both knew we weren't meant for each other, but we were part of each other's healing. And that meant something. One night, I sat on the porch and looked up at the sky. I thought about everything I had lost and everything I was gaining. I wasn't ready to fall in love again. I wasn't even thinking about dating. But for the first time in a long time, I wasn't afraid to be alone. I was learning to like my own company. I was doing things for me. And every day I felt just a little stronger. I wasn't over it. Not completely. Some wounds take time. But I was moving forward. And for now, that was enough. If you've been lied to, cheated on, or left behind, I know how it feels. I know that emptiness in your chest, the confusion that keeps you up at night, the questions that never seem to end. I know how it feels to look at someone you once loved and realize they don't see you the same way anymore. But I want you to hear this. It's not the end. It hurts, yes, it breaks you in ways you didn't think possible. It shakes your confidence, your sense of worth, your ability to trust. But pain isn't where your story stops. It's where it changes. You will rise, you will heal, not all at once. Some days will still feel heavy, some memories will still sting. But slowly, one step at a time, you'll remember who you are. You'll remember how strong you are. Don't waste your time chasing someone who let you go like you didn't matter. If they lied, if they disrespected you, if they betrayed your loyalty, that's not love. That's not someone who deserves your heart. Love yourself enough to walk away. Love yourself enough to choose peace over chaos. Choose healing over hope in someone who already left. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. You are already enough, with or without them. They might come back one day, when things go wrong for them, when they realize what they lost, when they see you smiling again without them, let them come back. And when they do, just smile, not out of revenge, not out of pride, but because by then you'll already be gone emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You won't need them anymore. The version of you that once begged for their love won't exist. And that right there is the best kind of peace. This pain you're feeling right now, it's temporary. The strength you're building because of it, that stays with you forever. So hold your head high, take your time, heal in your own way. Because one day you'll look back and thank yourself for not breaking when you were bent, for standing up when you could have stayed down, for choosing yourself when someone else didn't. You've got this. And the best part, your real story, the one where you love better, live freer, and laugh louder, is just getting started.